I Love to Eat Fruits and Vegetables by Shelley Admont. It was an hour before lunch in a small house deep inside the forest. Jimmy, the little bunny, was playing with his two older brothers as they waited for their mother to serve them their meal. "I really feel like eating something sweet," said Jimmy suddenly. "Maybe Mom has a lollipop or a piece of chocolate with raisins for us." "We can't eat candy before lunch," said the oldest brother. "You know we are not allowed, Jimmy." "Anyway, it's better to eat apples or grapes," continued the middle brother. "They're all so sweet and tasty." "Yuck, I don't like eating fruit," said Jimmy. "But guess what? I saw that Mom bought some new candies yesterday. She hid them in the cupboard in the kitchen," Jimmy whispered. "I'm going to take some candy. Who's joining me?" "Not me," answered his eldest brother. "I'm sure Mom will give us candy after we eat our lunch." "I'm not coming either," replied his middle brother. The two older brothers went back to their toys while Jimmy slowly made his way to the kitchen. He went out of the room and looked around to check that nobody was watching. As he went along quietly, Jimmy stopped a few times just to make sure that no one was following him. When he eventually got to the kitchen, he saw that the table was already prepared for lunch. Each bunny had his own plate. The oldest brother had the blue plate, and the middle brother had the green one. The orange plate was for Jimmy. In the center of the table was a big bowl filled with fresh vegetables. There were cucumbers, carrots, tomatoes, red and yellow peppers, and some cabbage. "Ugh, I'm not going to eat that," Jimmy thought to himself. He went over to the cupboard where he had seen his mother putting the bag of candy. But the cupboard was very high above the ground, and Jimmy was not able to reach it. "I need something to climb on," Jimmy thought, and started looking around. He took one of the chairs that was near the table and moved it nearer to the cupboard. He climbed up onto it, but he still wasn't able to reach the shelf. Jimmy got down and looked around again. This time, he took a large empty pot and turned it upside down. He put the pot on the chair and climbed up. Now, he was able to see the highest shelf. In the far corner of the shelf, there it was, a huge bag full of candy, but he still wasn't able to reach it. He needed to be a tiny bit higher. He got back down and looked around again. "What else can I use?" thought Jimmy. Suddenly, he saw his mom's huge cookbook. "That's exactly what I need," he said happily as he grabbed the book. He was excited now. He put the cookbook on the upside-down pot and started slowly climbing up. Now he was able to reach the shelf. But as Jimmy reached for the bag of candy, the chair began to rock. Jimmy quickly lost his balance and fell on the ground. The pot fell next to him with a bang. The cookbook came next, and it landed right on poor Jimmy's head. "Ouch! That hurt!" shouted Jimmy, and he started feeling dizzy. Suddenly, something strange happened. As Jimmy looked up at the cupboard, it seemed like it was getting higher and higher. Even the table, the chairs, and the refrigerator all became taller and taller. "What's happening?" Jimmy thought to himself. He tried to stand up on his feet, but he just got dizzy again and had to sit down. He felt very odd. At that moment, his two older brothers came into the kitchen. "What was that noise?" they asked. "And where's Jimmy?" "I'm here," Jimmy shouted, waving his hand. "Hey, how did you two get so big?" The two brothers saw Jimmy sitting on the floor and went over to help him up. But there was something very different about Jimmy. He suddenly seemed really, really small. "Jimmy, what happened to you?" asked his middle brother. "How did you get so small?" Now, Jimmy understood why everything looked so big. He had become as small as a mouse. "Jimmy, why do you look like this?" asked the eldest brother. "I don't know," cried Jimmy. "I just climbed up to get some candy, and then I fell down. Now I'm tiny." "You were trying to take candy? Maybe that's what caused you to become so small," exclaimed the middle brother. "Oh no! Will I stay this small forever?" Jimmy screamed. "What am I going to do?" He began crying hard now. "Don't cry, Jimmy," said the oldest brother, trying to calm him down. "We will figure something out. Let's just clean up this mess quickly before Mom comes." Just as the brothers finished putting everything back in its place, Jimmy's mother walked into the kitchen. "Good, you're here. I've been looking for you all. We're going to eat lunch soon. Where's Jimmy?" Jimmy hid behind his older brothers, listening to every word. stuttered his middle brother while thinking of what to say. But the older brother was very smart. "Mom, can I ask you a question?" he said. "Of course, dear," she replied. "If someone wants to grow quickly and be big, tall, and strong, what do they need to do?" he asked. "Simple," his mother answered. "They need to make sure they eat their fruit and their vegetables. They contain lots of good vitamins and minerals that help the body to grow." "I have an idea," whispered the oldest brother quietly. "Thanks, Mom," he said loudly. "You can sit down at the table, and I will call Dad and Jimmy," their mother said while walking out of the kitchen. The oldest brother turned around to Jimmy. "Quick, Jimmy, you have to eat your fruit and vegetables so that you can grow fast." "No way!" screamed Jimmy. "I don't even like fruit or vegetables." "Do you want to stay like this forever?" his middle brother asked. "Of course not. I want to become big again, like I was before," replied Jimmy. "So eat some vegetables," said the oldest brother. "Maybe you'll even like them." He quickly took a carrot from the plate on the table and shoved it in Jimmy's mouth. This is sweet and even tasty," Jimmy said as he chewed his carrot with his white, strong teeth. Suddenly, he felt a strange, tingly feeling spreading all over his body. It was like magic. His legs got stronger, and he even seemed to get a little taller. "Jimmy, look! You've grown a bit!" shouted the oldest brother happily. "Here, take something else," the middle brother added enthusiastically. He gave Jimmy a juicy cucumber from the bowl. Jimmy quickly took the cucumber and began eating. With every bite, he felt his body getting stronger. He was growing more and more. "Give me some more!" Jimmy shouted happily. "It's working!" In the end, Jimmy ate some cabbage, a tomato, a red pepper, and a yellow pepper, and for dessert, he ate a lovely, juicy pear. "Jimmy, you're finally yourself again!" his older brother shouted and ran to hug him. Jimmy's middle brother hugged him too. "How are you feeling?" he asked. "I feel great and full of energy," said Jimmy. "Thanks for helping me." "And you know what?" Jimmy added. "These fruits and vegetables are really very tasty. You were right. I should have tried to taste them before." All three brothers began to laugh loudly and jump around. A few minutes later, Jimmy's parents entered the kitchen. "Great, everyone's here," said Dad. "I'm happy that everyone is in such a good mood," continued Jimmy's mother. "What a great way to start lunch." The entire family sat around the large table and began eating all the tasty things there. Even Jimmy finished his whole plate full. From that day on, Jimmy liked eating all his fruits and vegetables. Sometimes he still eats candy, but only a little, and only ever after his meals.